Hello again everybody and welcome to this video. I said in a previous video that at some point I would do a live portrait for you. I mean, that hasn't happened yet, and no matter how much I think about it, it's still going to take me about 20 hours to do it. So I thought I'd split it up into 3 videos and pick a portrait that I would find a bit more simpler than usual to save on time. I've chosen a Castel because I think I like doing wildlife art, and it's simpler than doing a human face, I find. So the 3 videos, this one's going to be the line art, so you'll see the process of how I do it, and that I'm not perfect when it comes to line art. I actually think I need a lot of practice with it, but where I am good with line art, I can tell where my proportions are out of place, so I spend a lot of time on it, because no matter how much shading you do, if your line art isn't right, it won't look real. So you'll see how long I spend on this. Hopefully it won't be any more than half an hour, but you know, we'll see. Second video will be on like the facial features, like the eyes and the beak, and then the last video will be, you know, the rest of it to the feathers. The feather side of things, I'll show you what I do then, time lapse it, and then come out on the last video, because I think for all this detail it will be quite a long video. So anyway, I'm going to get started. I'll try to explain what I'm doing as I'm going. It's on an A3 piece of paper, and all I'm using is a 2H pencil. You're best off keeping your main line art quite light, because you don't want it to crop up in your shade and then you've got rub out because it's too dark and stuff like that. So you're best off, I like to start off with having a reference point, and I usually start with the eye. So see, a lot of people would draw like a directional line. So if you did that with your pencil, for example, you know, you could just draw the line. I mean, I'll do it for you. So I want it there. So like the beak is here, for example. If you can see that, I don't think you can see that right. I'm gonna change pencil so it's darker so you can see it. Right, I'm going to use a HB, but when you do it, use a 2H. There, you can see that, will do. So we can see the beak is like here. So obviously you got the eye here, for example. The other eye here. And his head. Okay. I'm starting with the eye. That's where I like to start personally, but you can start anywhere you want. You just want the general shapes of the eye. You don't have to be really, unless you want to be extremely realistic, you don't have to be spot on, not with wildlife art. People's minds will fill in the blanks, they'll know it's a bird. He's kind of got a little there, and then it kind of goes flat and right around to a point. So that's inside the eye. Then you've got the eyelid. And then I'm going to put his, I don't know, scowl in. Is it a scowl? Where a human eyebrow would be. Which is like there. You got some feathers there. suppose he's got more of a, like where the socket is, kind of. Put that in. So you don't need any detail right now. You're just telling yourself where the general shapes are. So he's got like a weird like diamond structure in the eye. I don't know if I'm going to keep that personally, but no, I might do. I'll try it. If I don't like it, I can always do something else. So this is the, I don't know, the diamond pupil he's got, and then he's got a load of other diamonds, but I don't know if someone's just photoshopped that in, to be honest. I mean, I've just had this image off Google. It's nothing I've taken. I'm not a photographer. Just put it up there. His scowl, or his brow, goes all the way to the back of his head, and the feathers change. So you got like this bit here. Just mark where the general feathers change, because these are quite like liney, stroked feathers, and they go off into more bushy feathers. So all you need to do is just indicate where they are for yourself. See, that goes into the beak. I guess you could put the back of the head in a little bit, but you probably will change that. So yeah, I can already tell that isn't going up far enough, so but you put the rest in and you should be able to judge if it's right or not. That's why it's always good to start with a reference point. Okay, if it's me now, I'd do that, then go down to the beak and put this eye in, and then from them points there I can tell if this isn't high enough. Okay, so it doesn't mean you don't have to be perfect with your line art. It's like a lot of it is understanding where you've gone wrong. So you draw it all out. I tend to draw it all out quick, and then I'll look at it and think, right, this is wrong, rub it out, change that before you even start shading. Because if all your line art is done right, when you shade it'll turn out how you want it to. See, I've gone off that line there, so it didn't really matter putting that angle in, that's just told me the angle, but there's no point to it. Not when you're drawing from it. I get it if you're drawing a character out your head, it'll help, but in terms of just copying from a tablet, I never really used it. Again, following the general shapes. You can also measure it out with your pencil, so at the top of the beak, if you just lay your pencil on top of the tablet or your piece of paper, whatever you're using, you can see at the base of the eyes, at the top of the yellow bit on the beak. So I say also you can get everything at measurements right, so basically that's the top of the beak, basically. So I know I need about that much distance, which tells me that beak has come up too high. So if you do that, doesn't mean that's going to be there, it'll be more like there probably. Now you can wrap it from that point. Okay. Give the beak a bit more definition. Something like that. And the bottom part of the beak. You don't forget all this is subject to change, so you're best off not putting too much in. I might actually rub all this beak out because it's not right compared to the rest, I don't know yet. Until I've got all of it in. Folds like that. Put in his nostril. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking that eye is too close to the beak at the minute, but we'll see. I might have to move the eye. Sits in there. Yeah, I don't think the eye's too close, I think it's too low. So I should have done the beak lower, but I'll change the eye. I understand why it takes so long. Well, the longest thing about drawing is probably the line art for me. I've never been like the best at it, I just keep going until I get it how I want it and then I shade it. So it's probably the biggest frustration for most artists is doing the line art, because it's just so tedious and boring. You won't get stuck into the shading and get to the fun part, but your fun part isn't going to look how you want it unless you get this part right. Right, so we'll move this eye. I mean, leave a bit of the eye there so you can tell where it was before, because it's not, I'll say it's further enough away, I just want it higher up. So if you measure it again, oh. Right. Doesn't need to go too high, just a bit. Just make him rub that top part up. It's weird how you can't have a muscle memory as well from, because you just previously done it. Like the second time you're on, you just do it dead quick because you remember how you did it before, the shape. That goes up there. Yeah. I don't know if that brow's right. Yeah, more like that. Okay. Looks like he's frowning too much. You can put everything back in the sockets. Add that background. It's more angled. And we can put the diamond pupil back in. If I'm going to keep it. Just don't think it'll work. So I like my eyes to really pop off the page, so just don't think it'll have a big enough impact. In fact, I doubt I'll keep it. I just think it'll look nice as a black eye. Yeah, this video is going to be about no, it's going to be about an hour. I've already been going for 18 minutes, so definitely an hour video. Just putting in all these little tiny things around the eye. I mean, it's going to be when it's shady, but it's nice just to have it there. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think, oh god, I forgot this, or you know. See, I'm not very neat with my line art, but if I can see it looks like the Castel drawing, I want to fussed. As long as I see my proportions are right, it looks real, then I'll just go into the shading, but it has to look right. That eye for me was just too low, and I could see that it was wrong. That's what you need with your line art. You need to be able to see that things are wrong. Once you do that, you can do any kind of crappy line art you want. As long as things are in the right place and the right size, you jump straight into your shading. Again, you got these like, I won't say they're like these feathers here, all like these, and it's like its own type of feather, so it's blocking where they are. I'm more bushy again, but not as bushy as these. And as you can see from this now, that is too low. Like I said when I put it in, I over raised the eye up, but that was probably the reason why it didn't look right, because the eye wasn't low enough. It's more So it's flat in that. Maybe. I'll put the rest in first. So that's when you just do these little dash shapes of where certain features would be. Because like above the eyebrow here, there's just a lot of feathers before we get to these little black feathers underneath. I would take that as an entire shape, so you could like just shape it out. So that's that shape. So you know that that's the shape, and it goes down that, more down like that. It's probably more like that. So you could take that as an entire shape, which will help you define the top of the head better. So that's probably what go like that. Okay, it's better already, but I still think it's too low. We'll put this in first to get the side of this face down. That should help judging in there. Just put this bit in here. It comes in here and it goes more bushy out here, so it's more like okay, here's a nostril. The shape there, there's the shape of these wispy feathers here. That kind of comes out there, and then this kind of just goes up there like that. If you do that, then you see, oh, it was too low. This is what it's about. I mean, sometimes I'll even do my line art and go away from it for a few hours and come back. So then I'll see things that I didn't see before. Get rid of this line. Get rid of the diamonds. I'm not doing it. Decided I'm not doing it. And we can put the pupil in. And make our own eye up. Looks like a crazy Castel. Looks like he's spotted a mouse or something. It's going to eat him. Otherwise it's getting too messy. Okay, let's try this eye. Just measuring up where the top of the eye would be. I'll go for that, see how it looks. Size simple, it's just a simple bow. See, since I put that in, that tells me that where I did the, well, started at the top of the head, that's too high up, that's meant to be there. Which will wrap this out further. So, where's my rubber gone? I've got to let that bit in. That wraps there like that. Then you have a piece. That wraps more out actually. That wraps more out. Like a white piece, like a tiny bit of feather of his cheek, just behind that eye. It comes down. It looks right evil with that pupil there. Oh, there you go. I might actually lower the beak as well, so it's more there. I just noticed, I see what I mean when you notice things, when certain things are in, you notice things where they're wrong. So, put that there. I'm just having the defining shadow in the middle because that's telling me that because it's 3D, you know, if I don't put it on the middle it just looks like the beak is flat to the rest where the rest isn't flat. So if you just indicate where the middle of your beak is, so it's there, because obviously they have to define that with shadow and stuff. I don't like that. Yeah, that's better. Just trying to get the angle of this beak right. I'm just going to push that out the nostril, and he's pushing out now, so okay, so I'm going to put, I suppose what you could say is his chin, I don't know, maybe there's a technical name for it, who knows. So that, this beak wraps like that, then goes in like that. That probably needs dropping a bit there, so did that. That's probably too much actually, but you know, to clean up your line art a bit, helps you to visualise it better. So this kind of goes down and then wraps around to there. Now, the bottom of his chin kind of comes off like that, and then does a sharp turn like that. I've lost that bit on her. There's a part on the beak that kind of like a little bump when you put that back in. Okay. Right, so there's his chin. You have it on this side as well, so it'll line up, so basically it's going to be like that, and then wraps around. Just going to put this in a bit better. You can see where I said it's better using a lighter pencil like a 2H when you do all this, because you're rubbing out all the time. So if you you start off with like a 2B, you know, it's going to be a lot harder to rub it off the tooth of your play pit after so long if you keep rubbing it out and reapplying it. You just don't want it to mess up your shading as you do it when we eventually get to it. Just going to define this eye a bit more. Top of the lid. Make a nice watercolour this one, I think. Kind of got two sockets, or two layers of feather that kind of shows the definition of the socket. So just defining certain attributes that will help you see it better. See, I've got quite dark with this so you can see it on the camera, but I'll leave it light because I'm going to have to rub some of this out again to actually do the shading. Also, I find on this type of paper it's kind of soft. If you push too hard you leave impressions in the paper, so if you've pushed too hard and you rub it out and then you start shading, that impression, the pencil doesn't go in the impression, so you're left with like a white line where your line art used to be. So you have to go really light into the lines and get rid of them, and it's just a pain in the arse. So it's better off using a light pencil and go light than what I'm doing. I'm going dark for your benefit. Just going to shade in his nostrils because they are going to be pitch black. I'd even shade in this eye, to be honest. That's going to be black. I don't know if I'm going to keep the pupil. I like it. No, I'll keep it. I'll keep it. So obviously I can't do a black eye if I've got a black pupil because you won't see it. So let's fix the top of his head. Just for you, this my Castrol's looking more like a budgie. It's kind of look like a budgie in a way. Trying to get the top of his head right. It's right there, I like it there. It's here, it's bugging me. That's the fluffy feathers, and then you got these going up, so we'll just block in the general direction of them. Maybe it'll help me to figure out what's going on at this part. We'll leave it. I'm alright with it now. We'll leave that part, and if when I'm shading it turns out that it doesn't look right, I'll just change it. Now I'm going to put in his feather. Again, you've got like these type of feathers down here, so they kind of wrap around to the back of his head. I mean, all these feathers here, you could shape them in on your line art, but I doubt I'll do that. I'll wait till I'm doing the shading for that. That's the part I'd probably time lapse. I'd show you how I do one or two and then I'd time lapse it, because that is going to take a while. That's what ends up being 20 hours. And here is his shoulder, so it's kind of like that, and then the wing. I'm going to say it needs to be longer. I'm going. So. Definitely needs to be longer. Okay. I don't know if I'll have like a fade out of it, instead of going to the edge of the page. Could have it just fade out, make it look nicer, so the whole drawing just fades out into like a graphite dusting. I think that's what I'll do. I can see where his wing going, so getting down there like that. this shoulder bit. Like I said, I'm not going to put these bits in, not as line art, there's no point. You can just put them in as you do the shading. But like I said, I'll do one or two, show you how I'm doing it when I do this part of all the feathers on the third video, and then I'll time lapse it, stop it, and then show you the finished piece obviously. But that's the kind of stuff that, you know, takes the 20 hours, is, you know, spending lots of time on little details like that. You know, the eyes and the beak, they're going to be the easiest parts. I mean, the feathers, they're easy enough to do. It's just, it's the little details, and all them little details add up into the whole piece. It's what makes it look real or semi-realistic. That's usually like how I like to draw things. You get the realism here, and then you'll get semi-realism everywhere else. Helps this part really stand out. That's generally what I do with my drawings. Beak again. Always notice something wrong with the beak. Try rubbing that edge off. Just polishing my line art now. Just going to a bit of polish up, a bit more definition. Okay, you're just showing the general shapes of where your feathers will go. You don't need to draw out every feather. Even when you shade, you don't need to draw out every feather. Draw out the shadows and the shapes of the feathers. This is where his quiff connects with the feathers underneath. So that'll be like, yeah, darkness of it. That's in darkness. That's bugging me. Better. Like I said, I'll probably, when I finish this video, I'll go away for an hour or two, come back, and then I'll see where I've gone wrong. I mean, at the minute, one thing's bugging me is this part, because I feel like that should be more protruded out compared to what that is. So if I do that on top of my work, yeah, that should be level. Basically that should be here. So you can just push that part out. But the problem is when you do that, you don't know whether this eye needs pushing out. So when you do stuff like this, you'll put this in, you'll see all of a sudden the eye doesn't look right, and this is how it all arranges for you. Like I said before, I'm not the best at line art, I hate it really. That. Okay. I'm going to say the eye needs coming out a bit. So and obviously because I pushed the eye out, means the Faber will be pushed out as well. Right. Yeah, that's better. Shade this in a bit. And show a bit of definition, just a little bit. Help your eye visualise a bit better. So it doesn't really matter if I was using 2H, it just wouldn't matter because I can rub it out easily when I start shading. Anywhere where there's folds or creases, just go a bit darker under them. Just helps define everything a bit more for yourself to see where things are. So like this is the actual base of his head. There's a lot of a bit in there. Just so you can see where you're so a little bit of shading that defines everything straight away. Shading the eye a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much the line all done. You know, quick, rustic, but I can see from where everything is proportionally okay. You know, everything's got like the right amount of spacing, for the most part. There might be certain things I have to change as I go, but you notice that as you're shading. So now I know I'm ready to start shading. You know, if you do commission pieces though, and you have to draw somebody's face and you're selling it and that person recognises that person from that picture, you have to get this part perfect. That's why I find, that's why I picked this Castel, because it's not a person's face, so it'd be a lot harder for me. It would take a lot longer for me to do the line art over a piece of wildlife, because your brain is more in tune to actually recognising features of a human face more than like a Castel's face, so I can get away with a lot more. But if this was a human face, you're probably still can double the amount of time to get it right. But you know, that's the art of drawing, isn't it? It's like, it's not about the finished piece, it's about the journey. You know, if it is a pain in the arse. But I'm still going to say that was bugging me, this here. I don't know, I feel like it needs to be taller here, thinner here, I don't know. I don't know why it's bugging me. Well, that's what I mean, you've got to train your brain into actually seeing things wrong, like where everything is wrong. You need to train your brain into seeing it that way. I mean, you know yourself what a face looks like, so if this eye was drawn here, for example, you know, surely you'd know that isn't in the right place. Or, because you see it on sometimes, like on Instagram, people's art, they'll draw they'll shade an amazing portrait, but you can tell that the eye is a little bit too big, or it's in the wrong place, and that's just because they didn't spend as much time on their line art as what they probably should have. They want to get stuck straight into the shading, and I guarantee you, it doesn't matter how good of a shade you are, if this part isn't right, it isn't going to look how you want it to. You're going to notice something's wrong by the time it's done. But yeah, this is me freehanding a bit of line art with the Castel. If I wanted to do a really detailed portrait, I'd probably use a grid system, because then I know I'm definitely gonna end up with what I want in terms of line art. It's a lot easier when you're using a grid system. Yeah, but for stuff like this, it's more fun to do like this. You know, if you're bad at your line art, then get a sketchbook, draw in your sketchbook. Don't let anybody see it until you can, you know, boss a bit of line art for yourself. Then you can start doing it that way, doing your commissions, and you know, posting it on Instagram, doing YouTube videos. So yeah, this is part 1 of this 3-part series of this Castel. All the videos are going to be live, but obviously the last one's going to have a time lapse only when I get to the Fabers down here. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Part 2 will probably be up in a few days. I'll try to do as quick as I can. I might actually shade it today, but depending on what I'm doing. I hope to see you for part 2. Oh, and if you'd like to watch me draw another live drawing, I did one like 2 videos ago of me drawing the lion's eye live. It's about 4 hours long, so if you can be arsed sit down for that long, you can watch that. I will leave it in the little eye thing in this corner that you tap. If you hit that, and just play that video if you want to watch that, and you know, you can watch how I shade that while you're waiting for this one, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, thank you for watching.